Hi everyone. So, in this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about what it means to be an instructor of yoga, meditation, pranayama, whatever. So, if you're part of a spiritual, religious, yoga, meditation community, you would know that becoming an instructor, being an instructor, is a matter of great honor. You know, you're regarded as being an instrument of the divine. You're looked upon as someone who does God's work, divine's work. And people regard you with a lot of respect, admiration. People look at you as a guide, a mentor, a guru, you know. And people look at you as someone who's doing selfless seva, service. You're giving your time, giving your energy, your effort to sharing the knowledge, spreading the light, and bringing the knowledge of yoga, meditation, spiritual knowledge to people. And so sometimes what this means is there's a bit of a subtle sort of a pressure which people may experience if they're part of these communities to become an instructor, to go through the, steps of becoming an instructor. And for many people, it's also about having a meaningful identity in their life. You know, I think that's what happened to me. So when I first came to the Art of Living Foundation and I found myself benefiting so much from these practices, I felt, and I was a bit of searching for an identity at the time. So becoming an instructor felt like a very natural expression of who I was at the time. And a lot of times people also feel, their work doesn't give them joy, their career doesn't give them joy, and they feel this is what gives them joy, this is what gives their life meaning, and so they go down the teacher path. So I also went through all the steps, the training programs. So I first became an art of living instructor for teenagers, and then I went on to become an instructor for children, younger children. Then I became an instructor for the art of living program for adults, the basic workshop, the basic course. And then I became an instructor of meditation. And it was just wonderful for me because, all the years that I taught, I felt very fulfilled, I felt very validated, and I felt I had an identity. And then it all began to change. So a few years down, I started to feel I was changing. Like I just didn't, it was almost like I was veering inward. My energies were turning inside. And this was also the time in my life where I did a lot of decluttering. So, if you're familiar with Vedic astrology, Jyotish, I was in a guru phase in my life. And a lot of that meant, for me specifically, getting rid of a lot of superfluous things, things that lost meaning. So, interestingly, I went through a decluttering phase at the time. I got rid of a lot of clothes, furniture, books, music. I discontinued a bunch of activities I was doing, got rid of hair, like got a major haircut. And didn't feel much like participating in all the coordinating, organizing programs, follow ups. Didn't much feel like going to all these satsangs, gatherings. I just felt like I was coming inward. And I wanted to spend more time with myself, wanted to spend more time in nature. And things were changing for me. And then I just didn't feel like teaching anymore. And I think what happened was that all the years that I was active in the Art of Living Foundation, I was very much expressing my energy at the time. And my energy that time was like, you know, I have benefited from yoga, I have benefited from meditation, and I want to share it with everyone. And to me, what teaching meant was I had this platform where I could share my personal journey, share my experience with the world, with a room of participants. And it made me feel validated, and it was also inspiring to other people. But then I hit this sort of a 10-year mark in the foundation, and then I just felt like I didn't much feel like sharing. My whole experience with meditation, spirituality was becoming more and more personal. And I just didn't feel like I wanted to sit up in front of a room of people and share it anymore. And over the last now this I've been in this phase like I was in the sort of hermit phase for a few years, and then I realized that maybe I just won't go back to teaching. Maybe that phase of my life has changed, ended, and now this is how I want to express myself, through my writing, through poetry, through these kinds of videos. And maybe that's how, you know, this is how my life is expressing itself now. And of course, there's a bit of conflict in these points because you feel you're walking away from doing this work, you're walking away from doing such good work, the divine's work. And I feel, yeah, it is undeniable. I cannot pretend to feel any other way. My heart has changed. My heart is not in this work anymore. And I choose to express myself differently. And that's why I am not an instructor of meditation or pranayama or any of these workshops anymore. I know this is a bit of an interesting viewpoint, maybe an unusual sort of a perspective, but I thought this was a good place for me to put it out there. So thanks for listening.